Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. Hope everyone's having a great day. So today we're going to be talking about The Crow Writer by Kalyn Josephson, published by Sourcebooks Fire. So this is the sequel and conclusion to Storm Crow series. I have to give this book 3.5, 4 stars, because really, it's the character dynamics that kind of shifted for me. In the first novel, the character dynamics were really good. They were structured very well, especially between Thyla and Kylus and Arison. There was this sort of love triangle going on there. But I think it was clear from the beginning that Josephson's plan was always to have Thea end up with Prince Arison, because he has grown a lot. He grew a lot in the first novel, I think, and I love the dynamic, their friendship dynamic in the previous novel. And I even appreciated the romance between Thea and Kylus. I thought there was something there. There was a very strong connection between the two characters. So even from the beginning, I was a little concerned, how she was going to end up with Prince Arison. I thought that was pretty obvious, and in this novel, it does happen, eventually. So I feel like Josephson backed herself into a corner there. She has Thea run off with Kylus. Arison is sort of put into the friend zone. So, in this novel, I think there could have been more done with the character dynamics. I don't think they were as strong as the first novel. It's all very... It's done too quickly. There's not enough development into the characters and the characterizations to really draw the reader in and make them invested in these relationships. And with Kylus and Thea, they do break up. And there are some hints there, at a lot of personal issues bridging them. But I feel like, yes, they've become different people. There are different circumstances than what draw them together in the first place. And while it's understandable why they would break up, I think what Josephson fails to do is capture that, and capitalize on that, and really give an in-depth evolution as to why they are breaking up. Kylus has a lot of issues, but we don't really see them come into play. He doesn't like war. He doesn't like fighting. He's been stuck in that life for far too long. So I think the fact that he's being drawn into this war, it's really doing something to him. The reader can see it, but there's something really powerful there, like some very strong PTSD that I think that I think Josephson could have explored a little bit more to showcase why they're breaking up and why Thea is really understanding, because otherwise it just comes off as it's a very clean breakup. And they do remain friends, but it's almost like an afterthought, their relationship. There's not really a whole lot of development into why they're breaking up, and I really wish there had been, because there's definitely something there, especially with Kylus. I know he's not the main protagonist, but he's going through something that I think should be explored, but it wasn't explored. That's just my personal take on it. I felt like their relationship was cut way too quickly into the novel without really developing the why it was cut off. And that's why I say I think Josephine backed herself into a little bit of a corner with them, because she wants to get back to developing that relationship between Prince Arison and Princess Thea. I will say that their relationship, she does do a lot of focus there. It is well developed. She does trust him, but she also distrusts him at the same time. He is the son of the enemy, but he has risked a lot for her, but it could also be a trap, so she's constantly second guessing herself, but she has seen a different side to him. She's seen a nicer side, a friendlier side, a kinder side to him. That is the complete opposite of who his mother is. So their development of their relationship, I thought, was very well done throughout the novel. I completely found it believable, and I really did enjoy it, because they don't develop just as a romantic couple. They develop as friends as well. And I'm of the mindset that if you're ever going to marry someone, it should be your best friend. I married my best friend. So that's probably why I stand by that statement. So I liked how Josephson developed their friendship as well as their romance. They coincided very well. They offered something to the reader that's believable and relatable, and it inspires the reader to be invested in their relationship and who they are as characters and how they're growing throughout this novel. But another thing I think I had, another small issue I think I had, it does go back to character dynamics. Thea makes friends way too easily. Everyone wants to be her friend. Even the people who don't want to be her friend because they hold grudges against her because of her mother's inaction. Her mother did do a lot of harm by staying silent, by not offering aid. She thought she could protect her kingdom, but in that mindset, others suffered. People you're stronger together when you're united. The more inaction you take, the easier it is for someone to bring you down. I don't know if you've ever seen The 10th Kingdom. There's a lesson that a teacher teaches Virginia, when you break a stick, you keep breaking the sticks until they're unbreakable when you stack them all together. That's kind of like what Thea's trying to get at with this novel. She acknowledges that her mother was wrong, and when she's trying to gain allies, she's like, separate, we're easily defeated. Together, we can stand strong. And she's right. Together, they do persevere. But I think, there's a lot of hatred going around for the sins of her mother, and they're just sort of brushed away a little too quickly. With one of the princesses, she fights her to show her talent, and then after the fight, she's like, "Okay, I guess you're not that bad." You have to also acknowledge, this is a princess who's been hiding forever. Her people have been slaughtered and enslaved. That's a lot of hatred to get over in the span of one fight. So I thought it was a little too easy, the way Thea made friends. It served a purpose for the plot, but I feel like there could have been more done with these character dynamics, because it's just too easy. Her breakup's too easy. The way she makes friends, it's too easy. And I just think it's unrealistic. The first novel I really loved because I felt like those character dynamics were so well done. They were so well structured. You're dealing with a character who's suffering from depression and has to pull herself out of it. And find hope again. In this novel, yes, you're still dealing with some issues like PTSD and depression and guilt, but, and revenge, but I feel like these are all sort of glanced at. They're not really, except for the revenge one, because Queen Roselle, she's all about revenge, and the Celeste, they're all about revenge, but everything else, I feel like they're just sort of touched upon. I don't think she gives as much devotion to these emotions and mindsets as she did in the previous novel, which is probably why I really loved the first novel. So I think it all goes back to the character dynamics. I feel like they're not as strong as they were in the first novel. There's so many characters, and I think she's just trying to sort of sidestep them for the plot, to make it easier for the plot to progress and move forward. That being said, it does move at a great pace. I will say that. I wish there had been more development on the character dynamics, but if you're going to lose yourself in the story, you lose yourself in the story because of the magic and the mythology that slowly unfolds, and the pacing, the action of the story. Even as the war is coming, that final scene between Thea and Queen Roselle, it's so amazingly done. The detail, the magic, the structure, the unfiltered range of Queen Roselle and Thea. I mean, it's so impactful for the reader. I thought that was a great scene. I loved that scene. I loved all the magic that her crow has. I think the exploration of why he has multiple gifts, and this ultimate revelation of where her magic comes from, I think that creates a lot of good intrigue into the mystery and into the mythology of it, unfolding it quite well and quite effortlessly. So I'll say this, the magic, the mysticism, the mythology, the history of the land, those are all done really well and really bring forward a great plot with excellent pacing. So, once again, this was The Crow Rider by Kalyn Josephson, published by Source Books Fire. I do encourage everyone to read it. Probably won't have the same issues I do with the character dynamics, to each their own. This is my opinion and my review of it. Definitely check it out from your local library. And if money is not too tight, please remember to support your local bookseller. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.